Hi, my name is Em. I'm a bit obsessed, or you could say addicted. Just thought I would do maybe a little bit of a long form video for you. This could go really well and I could post it, or it could go really badly and this will never be seen. However, my goals for this year is to have a 50% me-made wardrobe by the end of the year. I made a start by making a denim skirt. Let me show you that. Which, in my personal opinion, obviously I'm going to be biased, but it is a massive slay. I'm obsessed and I can't wait to wear it. I haven't had the chance to wear it out yet because it's so freezing. But today I'm going to be making a bag for my sewing machine using this lovely canvas cotton that is just so gorgeously printed. So I'm going to quilt it and show you how I do it so you can follow along and make one for yourself. So let's get started. Oh, this material is so gorgeous. I just want to jump in here and show you what it looks like, the final product. It looks so cool. So one thing I want to say is I think personally this is the perfect project for a beginner because you learn some new techniques potentially, or you can practice your techniques. So you can learn how to quilt and to add bias tape or add binding to your project. So follow along with this tutorial to help you make a gorgeous machine bag, and you can even use it as a tote bag or as a beach bag, whatever you fancy. Gosh, I've just been hunting underneath my sofa for this massive ruler. I actually bought it to do some drawing with, but it's actually come in really handy with my sewing, and you'll see why, and also pointing apparently. For my bag, I want it to be rectangular, so I want a panel for the bottom of the bag, 2 side panels and 2 front and back panels. I want 2 long straps and 2 short straps, or 2 shoulder straps and 2 handheld straps, you could say. I've just measured for my front panels and I'm going to do, oh my gosh, what did I say? 16 by 12.5 rectangles. So 2 of those. Then I need to measure the height and the width of the sides. Okay, nice. So I need to write this down somewhere because I'm going to forget otherwise. Put it down on this old Amazon package because then I should remember. 12.5 inch. So I'm going to cut them out and then see what I have left for the straps. Once you've measured your machine, you're then going to get to cutting. Oh, I can't get over how nice this material is. This is why I say you should get a cutting mat, because 1, it has measurements on it also, but 2, it helps you get the straightest lines possible. When you have printed material with like stripes and gingham, I always find it's easier to cut it out straight because obviously you can just follow the pattern. But when you've got something a bit crazy like this one, it's nice to have something to follow. So gorgeous. Am I gonna regret making a bag out of it and not a top? Probably. I just don't think it's very good top material, it's too thick. Okay, before I regret my decision, let's just cut. And this is why I love having a long ruler. Ready? Because you literally follow the line on your cutting mat and you go down like this. Gives you lovely straight lines. Oh, it's just brilliant. Perfect. Right, I'm gonna keep cutting and then I will come back to you. I'm just gonna have a quick look in my drawer of lovely scrap material to see if I have anything. Okay, gorgeous. This isn't scrap material, I mean this is just material. But anything that will go to help me quilt. See, I have some calico, but I think this is, oh, that's already been used. Oh, yes, this is what I want. I'm going to cut out matching size pieces. So I've got 2 front and back, 2 sides and 1, oh my god, I cut out 2 bottoms. That was silly, I need one. Anyway, I'm going to cut out matching for the calico so I can quilt this together. To cut the calico a little bit bigger, just to give it a little bit of wiggle room. I quite like doing that when I do quilting, because it kind of gives you a little bit of allowance around the edge. Today we've been blessed with some absolutely gorgeous weather, which I'm so happy about. Went out for a walk and a coffee this morning, got my 7,000 steps in, which is brilliant. I try and do 10 a day. And have I been slacking a bit recently? I actually think I have, but that's okay. Been tired, been drained, and unmotivated to say the least. So they are now all cut out. I'm going to grab my wadding, cut that out, and once that's cut out, I'll be then ready to start quilting. I've just ironed all of my pieces. Ironing is a crucial part of sewing. So if you do like sewing and you have an iron, fabulous. If you don't, and you can, maybe get one. But if not, don't worry. But it's nice to have iron things, isn't it? I'm going to lay out my piece and get my quilting ruler. Maybe I should just do ASMR videos. So I've got Taylor's chalk. Would again recommend greatly to get some Taylor's chalk or like fabric mugs or something, because they are ideal for sewing. So I'm going to grab my quilting ruler and I'm just going to mark a straight line down where I basically want to sew my lines. I would recommend when you get Taylor's chalk as well to get different colours, because obviously if I used white on this, it ain't gonna show up. So yeah, one thing I wanted to do was more long form content. I post a lot on my TikTok and my Instagram, which if you don't follow, here's my little plug to those. So just like give people a bit of inspiration, help out where I can with like tutorials and things. And also I've started a little series over there on called Is It Worth It or Not, where I test, actually I've posted them on shorts on YouTube, but where I test out different sewing tools and gadgets and basically test if they're worth it or not, so you don't have to buy them. So like I've tested so far a magnetic seam guide upon request from someone, ruffle foot, and a binding foot. So if you want to know whether they're worth it or not, go and test it out. I'm at the moment posting them every Tuesday. I'm going to try and keep it up, but I am actually going on holiday next week. Oh my god, that's so exciting. I'm going skiing with my family and I'm really excited. Last year though, I have to admit, I did have quite a bad crash with my own mother, who crashed into me on quite a steep slope, but it's all right, we forgive her. I got whiplash. I couldn't actually lift my neck up on its own. I had to, pull it up when I was lying down. But yeah, that was fun. Let's hope that doesn't happen again this year. I hope you can see that. So the lines I'll follow with my sewing machine. So I'll follow them down and then I'll follow them across. We'll sew it like so. Sorry if this is a really bad angle and you can't see it, but I'm gonna hope you can. So essentially you sandwich the wadding in between your inner piece and your outer piece, let's call them. It's not the technical terms, but we'll just call them that for now. And you sew down, the lines. They're officially all mapped out, so I'm going to get quilting. What I do when I quilt is I pin around the edge, because often you'll find, maybe it's just me, but I think quite often you find the fabric on the top underneath the wadding might move. It all might move. It's good to sort of secure it in place whilst or before it does move. See how long this quilting is going to take me. Hopefully not too long, but I fear it could be. Here's the first one finished. Felt like it took ages, so I've only got about 10 more. No, I'm joking. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more panels to do. So in for a ride. I might have to go and make myself a nice cold glass of Coke to get me through this. A nice ice cold glass of Coke has been acquired. It is a little bit flat, nonetheless, it's still delicious. That's what I mean by I'm clumsy. Wearing white, never a good idea for me. That took so bloody long. It's basically dark outside now. I am going to overlock all of the edges now. So if you have an overlocker, feel free to do the same. If not, don't worry, skip this step, it doesn't matter. Thing is now overlocked. This bag could potentially be fabulous, multi-purpose, because it could also act as a beach bag. It's quite summery, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to sew the bottom and the sides together. So I've just pinned them. Then we'll put the front and the back on. Now I'm going to pin the front and the back on. Now, for now, I haven't added any pockets because I don't think I want this to be a bag that fits everything in. I think I'm going to make a machine pedal bag to go within this, just so it doesn't get all knotted and annoying, because you know what that's like. However, yeah, I don't think I want to have all my bits and bobs as well, like scissors, snippers, all of that jazz in this bag, then it just gets a bit clunky. Side is pinned. I'm now going to sew that on. One thing I did want to show you is how to go about it when you are sewing in the corner. How I do it is I go as close as I can to the edge, and then, as you can see here, I just tuck this bit under like so, pull it out. I'll just do a back stitch before I get to the corner, and then I sew over the top. Make sure the needle is right down, lift the presser foot up, my material around, so then it's like this, and carry on sewing along the edge. It's now all sewn together. How exciting. I love it. I want to add some binding to the top. I'm going to show you how I make my bias tape. So I've measured the outside of this, so I know that this is 16, this is 16, and these are both 7.5. So I've added that together, which makes 47. I'm going to do it 2 inches wide because I don't want it to be too thick. So you do yours the same if you wish. And 47 inches long. So 2 inches wide, 47 inches long. I'm doing it 47 inches long. I am going to add a couple onto the end just so I have room to hem it. So now that's cut, you're going to need your iron. If you don't have an iron, don't worry. You can skip the ironing step. This is me admitting right here, I do use the arm of my sofa as my ironing board because I do not have an ironing board here, but that's okay, that's all right. So what you're going to do is fold one corner into the middle of your piece and iron all the way down your strip of material. Once you have done that, you're going to want to do the same on the other side and fold it in so the two sides meet in the middle. That is now done, and then I'm going to fold it directly in the middle like that and just iron down again. Then you will be left with something that looks a bit like this, and this is your bias tape. So make sure you've got your pins handy. We're going to add our binding now. So it should look like this, and you should have a crease in the middle that you can fold it down with. I've got the middle of the bias tape. You literally, from the fold that you've created with the iron, you're going to fold it over the edge like so, and do that all the way around, making sure you are pinning it in place. Right, I'll come back to you when that's all done. Okay, so once you have pinned all the way around, you should be left with these two ends and with a raw edge. But with this one, what I want you to do is firstly snip it to a fair enough size. Okay, so fold. It might even be easier if you do a stitch just down this edge here. But if you're feeling reckless or oops, beep beep, just fold it over. And it's a bit fiddly to do it through a camera, but da, 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 da. There you are. There you have it. Oh yeah. Okay, and once it's sewn down, it will look much better. But I'm going to get this binding sewn on and then I will come back to you. The binding is done. Now, I am moving on to the straps. So, as I mentioned, I want to do a shoulder strap and then also a hand strap. So, I'm going to do 31 inches, but I'm also I want the straps to go all the way around and underneath just to maximize the security of the bag. So the weight will be carried from underneath rather than up here. If I want 31 inches for the strap, and then I need to add 25, so each here and 7.5. So I'll do the maths. 35 plus 25 is 60 plus, so 67.5 is what we need, plus a little room either side. 3 inches wide and 67.5. Well, let's go 69.5 long. I've cut out 2 long strips. That's not going to be quite long enough, is it? Okay, no. I think I can salvage it. I need to do a bit of extra cutting, you see. Thought I'd cut it all out, but obviously haven't. What I'm going to do is add on all of the pieces for the longer strap are cut out. I've had to do a bit of DIY because my material is not long enough, so I'm having to do it sort of in chunks. So I've got three different pieces, and I'm just going to pin them all together. But it just shows you can make this type of thing with scraps. You don't always need to buy fresh new material. So 3 pieces. Let's pin them all together and sew the 3 pieces together, and then I will show you what I'm left with and what yours should look like. Okay, so then you'll be left with a massive circle essentially. So before we create the strap, you just want to make sure it's the correct size that you want it. So I'm gonna put it in half and lay it on the ground. So I'm going to lie it down flat, put the bag where I'm just going to estimate where it's half. And yeah, that is the size of strap that I wanted. So now what I'm going to do is create the strap. You're going to want your aisle again. So if you don't have it, that's fine. You can adapt. You just might be a bit more fiddly. Back to my beautiful ironing board. Now what I'm going to do is fold the edge over about a centimetre, slightly less, and iron it flat down all the way around the strap. And once you have done one side, go over and do the other side the same width, so just about a centimetre or less. Once you have ironed down your edges, you're then going to place them together and pin them all the way around. Okay, once that is done, you can then sew around where you've pinned, so it's all nice and easy. Or you can do what I'm going to do and pop it straight onto the bag, which is probably a lazier way, but it is a quicker way. Then I'm going to distribute the pins out, distribute the straps out, sorry, and then pin it all the way around and down the bag. Once you have finished pinning it, it should look like this. Now so sewing these straps on might be a little bit difficult just to get in your machine. You're going to want to sew along this side and this side, just for extra security. That I wanted to just suggest to do, to stitch a rectangle at the top of each strap and put a cross through it with your sewing machine. I'll show you what it will look like, just to add a little bit of security and strength to each strap. It should look like that. Now that my long shoulder straps are done, I'm gonna do the little hand straps, or what do you call them? Handles. The smaller handles. So I'm going to follow the same process as the long ones, but I'm not going to have the strap go all the way around. The strap will just start about here. So I'll do them the same width, but just not as long. And this is the bag complete. So we've got 2 long straps and 2 short straps. So let's test the machine in it to see. I'm actually really proud with how it looks. It looks really sweet. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, it's a good fit. Oh, it's perfect. Look at that. Oh God, it's so good. Oh yeah. I love it. I just thought I would give you a little view of what it is looking like. It's so good. Now, if you've stuck around for this long, just want to say thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was a helpful tutorial. If you have made this machine bag or tote bag or beach bag, whatever you want to use it for, I want to know what material you've used, if it's patterned, if it's plain. I want to know if you've learned some new techniques like quilting or adding binding tape. Let me know. And also let me know if you want me to do any more tutorials on what those tutorials you want to be. So thanks for watching. Hopefully there'll be another one soon. Bye. Happy sewing.